back again with another video, and in this video, as I said, we are going to be objectifying the code a little, and we'll also be abstracting the windows.h functions, so we no longer have to use winmain. A little thing I did here that we should do, we should use the win API callback. So let's do that. So that's one small little thing I want to fix. Other than that, let's just get started with making the code object oriented. So first, we also want to just want to add a new file, and this will be a header file. We'll also have to add a C++ file as well. Let's choose the location. So here I want to make a new folder called platform, and within this folder I also want to make another folder called Windows, and in here is where we will create the header file. So just create a new file. Doesn't matter the file name, we'll change it. We'll call this one windows.h. Let's just include it in all the release debug and the release build, and click finish. So we'll add another file, C++ file, and we'll go again to platform Windows, and we will create another file which we'll call windows.cpp. Okay, now that we have that, we can just start including some of the things we need. Your file should look like this. So let's go ahead and include. Let's see what we need. We're going to need, let's just include both of these right now in the header file. Okay, for now, and let's see how far we get. For the class, we're just going to call it GL window, and this class will have a couple things in it. Firstly, let's just store the pixel format. Let's just start with the smaller things first. We'll leave it uninitialized. Next, we will store the handle to the window, HWND. Next, we will store the device context, HDC. Next, we will store the render context, HGL.C. Next, we will store the pixel format descriptor, PFD. And we will store the window class, WND class X. I'm using class X, so store that. The class, which I'll just initialize to 0 again, because that's what we did at first. Then we'll store the message, MSG, which we'll initialize to 0 again. Okay, so then there are two functions that we want for sure right now. Well, actually more than two. First, we want to have the constructor, GL window, and in the constructor we'll just pass. In fact, two other things we need to store are the OpenGL version. So that will be an GL version major. Next one, in GL version minor. We may want to do this as a macro because it's not something we'll be changing too regular in the program, but for now we'll just leave it like this. Okay, so spot here we'll take in the version that they want to use when they create the window, the OpenGL version. So first we'll take in the OpenGL version they want to use when they create the window. This will be the version major we take in first. and we'll have a default value of 0, which will mean it isn't set. We'll also do the same for the GL version minor. We'll set it to 0. We're also taking the window class name, which we'll set. Well, first it has to be a const char, which we'll just set equal to window class. And that's all we're taking for the constructor. The destructor can just be default. The destructor will be default, equal default. There's not really anything too important I'm doing there. So next, the function we want is one called create window. This will take in the width of the window, the height of the window, and lastly, it will take the name you want to give to the window. So const char pointer window name, which is equals, which we will have a default value for window. I think I also want to give a default value to the width and height. 640 by 480. Okay, so now on to the C++ file. There's still a couple other things we need to do in here, but we can leave it out for now. We'll get back to it later. So save this. In here now we want to include the file we just did, the window.h. Include window.h. So firstly we want to include windows.h. Then let's include the other stuff which was included originally in the main program. So right here, these three right here, we can include it in the window.cpp. Okay. So first thing we want to do in here is define the window procedure. Let's do it here. Okay, so copy and paste that. Okay, so now that we have that done, let's actually go about implementing the functions that we have in here. So firstly, GL window. First, we're going to define the constructor. So first thing is a int GL version measure. Second parameter that we specified was the GL version minor. Last parameter we classified was the window name. Char pointer, WND name, class name. And you don't have to set the default value in the actual function definition. So first thing we want to do is set a couple variables, several class members with the things we just put in. So GL version minor, GL version major, sorry. We'll set that to what we just took in. Next, we'll also set the other one, the GL version minor. Just set it to what we just took in. Okay, and that's it for the initializer. Okay, so we want to start setting up some of the things. So we'll set up the PFD again. We can just copy and paste this again. We don't have to write it over. So copy this and paste right here. Okay, so next we'll set up the window class right here. And because we're taking the window class name, we will no longer set it to a string literal, we'll set it to what they're passing. So window class name. Okay, so that's it for the constructor. In the constructor, we could also just register the class. So we'll just register the class. We'll do the same thing we did before to register. So copy this, paste it down here, and that'll be it. Let's just define a macro. Hash define. We'll call it register class error. Register window error. And let's just define it to -1. And instead of returning just -1, we'll use render. Register window error. Okay, so that's good. Next, we want to actually define the create window. So let's start with that GL window. In the GL window namespace, let's choose this, and we'll have we first taking the width. Next, we taking the height, and next we taking the name the window is gonna have. Okay, so that's it for the function signature. Let's actually start defining it. So first thing we want to do is just create the window. Actually create the window. We'll just copy and paste that. For this, we'll just create another define. And we'll call this one create window error. We're gonna put it up top because it ended up being a longer string, but yeah. We're gonna call it's gonna be -2. Return create window error. I don't know why I'm not getting the type suggestions though. Anyway, create window error. And we should probably also do a printf when we have a register class error, register window error. Okay, so that's good so far. Next, we'll just do the other stuff we did before, which is getting the device contacts and stuff. Since we have the variables with the same name, it shouldn't really be a problem if we just copy and paste. So that just remove the comments because I don't really want them here anymore. Okay, so because we are allowing the user to choose their OpenGL version, we have to check to see if they actually want to specifically choose one because it is optional. So let's just see FGL version major, and we want to make sure they have both of them set because I won't be doing anything if they only have one set. So let's make sure they have both of them. And GL version major, version minor. Well, then we actually want to do the stuff we did, which is involves creating the temporary context and stuff. So let's copy this. Let's give it proper indenting. Okay, so the only thing you really want to change is these two things because we're not using the macro anymore. We'll be using the actual property of the class. So GL version minor major, GL version minor. Okay, and the rest can be left the same. So we will create a temporary render context. We'll make it current, and we will pull out the function from OpenGL manually. Then we'll set the render. Then we'll set the new attributes. Okay, then we'll delete the old context, the temporary one, and then set the new one. But that's only if they want a specific version of OpenGL. Otherwise, we'll just do the default thing. We'll set the render context. Make it equal to WGL create context. With device context. And then just make that context current. Device context along with the render context. Okay, so that looks good. We'll just return 0 from here. Which reminds me, what is the return type of this? Oh, int. So okay, that's fine. So return 0. So return 0. Okay, so that's looking fine. Oh, and for this here, we want to create a specific error for this. Let's not forget that. So set pixel format error. Set pixel format error, which will be defined to -3. We'll just set the pixel format error. And let's make this error message be more descriptive. Error setting pixel format. And return pixel. I'm just gonna copy it. I don't know why I'm not getting the autocomplete. It's kind of annoying. Okay, so this looks good so far. Now there's some other things we need to do because As you can see, we still haven't dealt with the problem of having WinMe in here. So let's just go into windows.h and we'll do one small thing here. Let's go even under here, and we'll define, and we'll say if we'll use a macro if defined underscore underscore win32 underscore underscore, then we want to define main as win API main, and we'll take in the same things we had before. Let's just go and copy and paste it instead of typing it again. Okay, so for now, let's just do that. There's still some other stuff I want to do, but I want to show you guys what happens if we just try to do this. So we'll just do main. Okay, so first let's just get rid of these things right here and just include Windows. Just include the thing we just made. So hash include platform slash Windows slash, yes, so that's what we want to include. Okay, so we just want to remove most of this. First, we'll declare one of the windows, GL window. We'll call it GL window as well, so you don't get confused. And we can just initialize it. We can just use the constructor, and in the constructor we take in the version minor, version major, which we'll again set to 3, the version minor, which we'll set to 3 as well, and the window class name, which we'll just set to scale, which is what I had it as before. Okay, so what we did in the constructor was did most of this stuff right here, so we'll just remove it. We did it to this point right here, so we replace all those lines of code with this one line of code right here. As you can see why object-oriented programming is so great. Next we'll just create the window. So GL window dot create window. Oh yeah, one thing I did forget to do, totally forget, is make sure these things are public. Sorry about that. One thing about me, I actually only use public variables because I kind of think the idea of using private and public is kind of silly. It's probably just me though, because no one else seems to agree. So yeah, I have to make that public. So now, okay, now it has the green thing. And we'll just create this with the same thing we had before, so 1280 by 720. And we'll give it a window name of scale. And in that function, we took care of most of this other stuff right here. Okay, so this part, oh, we also want to put these functions right here in the class. So we'll create another function in here. It's going to be a void function called clear screen, clear window. Actually, it's not going to take in anything. And there's going to be another one called swap buffers. I'm wondering if I should just bundle these together, since they'll There are two things we always want to do together, I think, but I'll just leave them separate for now. And in here, let's define those. Clear window. This one is easy. We'll just do GL clear color. First, we'll clear the color buffer bit, and then set the clear color. Okay, so that's all we want to do there. And then we also wanted to define swap buffers. Swap buffers. Okay, so it's now showing up. After this, we just want to say swap buffers with device contacts. So okay, so we will run into an error, but I'll let you see what it is first. So again, this can also replace with GL window dot clear window and GL window dot swap buffers. Okay. And we'll also, instead of using this message, we also have to use the version in the class, the one in the class. So GL window dot message msg, same thing here. And same thing here. Okay. So let's just compile and see what happens. Okay, so this one right here is simply because we haven't included glue. That isn't the error I wanted you guys to see. So we just include glue. Okay, so this is the error I was talking about. So what we actually have to do is go back here in windows.h, and back here where we did the define, when we did the Win32 specific stuff, we also need to do something else. So we need to actually declare the variable called EH instance. We actually declare the variable right here. And we'll also define something else. We'll also define this thing called GL window init. And it's basically just, we're just going to set, well, we have to slightly change the name of this. So we're going to change the name of this to just something different, or S or something like that. And we're basically going to set instance equals to instance underscore S. Okay, so that's just a little thing we have to do to get around this. And then in here, what we'll do is it's gonna be a global variable when we do it. So we just want to get that inside the CPP file. So let's go right here, right below the window procedure, and do extern h instance. Okay, and we should now have the actual definition for this. It should at least not be an error anymore. So let's see. Okay, so one other weird thing we have to do is we have to also undefine windows for now. Okay, we'll just undefine it for this specific for this CPP file. It doesn't really matter. It won't unset the rest of the files, so don't worry about it. So let's try to compile again. What is going on here? We can't return inside this function, guys, the constructor. Let's also remove this from here. And we'll also probably have to make this an extern. Let it know we're putting in from the alter function. Okay. I think this may be the problem. It didn't put the function definition before here. The return type. I also didn't do it for this either. So that could possibly be why. Not extern. Okay. So let's not forget to put a semicolon here. Okay, maybe that'll fix it. Okay, so let's name this correctly. Let's also name this correctly. So let's also just give this the actual floating point thing. What? Swap buffers. Okay. Okay, guys, so we have it working now. So let's just compile. Okay, so as you can see, it built. Sorry about that. I had a lot more errors than I thought it would. Mostly because of just naming and then forgetting semicolons and stuff. But okay. But as you can see, it is working now. So that's good. Everything is working the same as it did before. Okay. So now let's go back and look at our main CPP. And as you can see, we are using int main now, the regular int main. And now our main function is cleaned up a lot. So I'm happy with this. Okay, guys. So what we can do now is instead of including this thing right here, we're actually going to make a new file. We'll call it, it's going to be a header file. It's going to be created in this directory, in the project directory, in the root, and we're just going to call it window.h. Don't use windows because it could conflict with what is already there. So let's just call it window.h, and we'll include it in all builds. Okay, and instead of including this up here, we're just going to do this. We're going to say #f define underscore win32. Then we're just that's indef. then we'll just include the one we'll just include that instead. So this is kind of making it cross-platform in a way, so that because before this would have been Windows specific, but now it'll be cross-platform. Well, we haven't implemented the things for the other platforms yet, but when we do this, we'll make it a bit easier to just integrate it. So now now we'll just include the window.h file we just did. Okay. Okay, so we're getting a build error. Next, we do have a class right here. So, oh, I know why. Because we have these named the same thing. So actually, what we might need to do is what we could do is add a little something here. F platform window.h included. Let's also just replace these. Okay, so I think that's why. Let's try again. Okay, so that was it. Okay guys, so one last thing I forgot to do here. I promise it's the last. So we created this little define here called GL window init, but we never did use it. The program still worked without it, but I would still recommend that you use it. Just be sure to do it somewhere above where we initialize our variable, the constructor. So yeah, just be sure to do it somewhere above here. So yeah, that is it. Last thing for this video, guys. Well, also actually, like there's also some other things I want to do. In the windows.cpp, in the create window class, as you can see, we aren't using what is passed in right here for the width and the height. So let's actually just do that. Width, height. Okay, so with that's all I want to do now. Let's confirm one more time that it's running. Okay, so as you can see, this is now pretty much fully abstracted. So it isn't really dependent on the platform anymore on Windows. Of course, we don't have the other implementations for say Linux or macOS yet, but we at least have a good base to start abstracting it and supporting other platforms. So that's it. See you guys in the next one. In the next video, I think we'll just be working getting the texture up on a quad and showing it. So yeah, see you guys then.